Hello, my name is Dylan Haskins. In 2002, with the Celtic Tiger in full flight, new housing estates were springing up on every green field within sight of a town. It was a sprawl of pebble dash and PVC windows. The planners, politicians and developers in their haste to make money and develop forgot to build facilities like youth centres. So our playgrounds were construction sites. As a teenager, I optimistically wrote to a politician about this. 3 letters, and not so much as an acknowledgement. I even tried a uniquely Irish plan B. I rang the Joe Duffy talk show. A sympathetic audience, but still no action. So at 15, I learned, if you want to get something done, don't bother writing to a politician. Don't bother asking for permission. We'd have to go a route C and do it ourselves. We put on guerrilla gigs in parks, front living rooms and back gardens. In 2008, we made a documentary film called Roll Up Your Sleeves, explaining what this DIY thing was all about, giving the tools to the people who have something to say, and who amongst us doesn't. It's about change by example. Instead of saying something should be better, do it better. A crucial election took place in Ireland in 2011, and the world's media came here to cover it. An unprecedented 566 candidates stood in that election, and I was one of them. It was clear that the country needed to change, but the existing political spectrum did not offer any meaningful alternatives. So what do you do when the future looks like the past? Well, you have to do something. We decided to create an independent campaign that would engage and politicise a disillusioned demographic. People don't vote when they've nothing to vote for. This can change. Most of the people who volunteered on our campaign had never been involved with a political party. Our policies weren't written by a bunch of strategists behind closed doors, nor were they the result of a lobbying group. They were the application of some basic principles about creativity, equality, and empowerment. Democracy, if everyone is to have a say, requires everyone to have the same information available to them. A culture of complete transparency must be inherent in future governments. Instead of just making election promises, our campaign would exemplify these principles and raise the bar for what people should expect from a politician. So transparency, for example, could be demonstrated by naming and listing every single donation received or publishing weekly accounts. We knew it was very unlikely that I would get elected, and I didn't, but we raised our voices and maybe created a model for others to build on in the future. In 2002, DIY and non-profit were not buzzwords. After the crash, Ireland began to reevaluate its priorities. Community became something to value again. The Ireland of money-making, the only Ireland I'd ever known in my lifetime, and the Ireland that I thought was permanent, was left behind. When you realise that nothing is permanent, you realise that everything can be changed. I still believe that decisions should be made as close to the people they affect as possible. Unfortunately, we've always gone the opposite direction in this country and concentrated more and more power in central government. Without any significant autonomy, our local councillors have had to justify their role by resorting to a base clientelism. This can change. Civic engagement begins in our communities. We need to reconnect the individual to community and community to society. When you begin, DIY is do it yourself. But the more we invest ourselves in changing from the bottom up, it becomes do it yourself plural. Do it as a community. Do it as a society. Do it as a nation.